Welcome to BBC Rare Coins. Ever wonder what that little copper coin in your pocket is really worth? Thinking Face today, we're diving into the history, design, and hidden value of the iconic Lincoln penny, the 1-cent piece that's been part of American life for over a century. Let's start. Top 1. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, this could be worth a fortune? It sounds unbelievable, but some pennies and quarters hiding in plain sight have fetched thousands, even tens of thousands, of dollars at auction. Today, we're talking about two coins that have shocked collectors with their rarity and value. The 2009 Lincoln 1-cent penny and a rare error quarter that has sold for as much as $72,000. Let's start with the 2009 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it's just a regular 1-cent coin, but the story behind it, and why certain versions are incredibly rare, is what makes it so special. In 2009, to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent, the U.S. Mint released 4 special reverse designs. These were part of what's called the Lincoln Bicentennial Series. Each design represents a different stage in Lincoln's life: birth and early childhood in Kentucky, formative years in Indiana, professional life in Illinois, and his presidency in Washington, D.C. While millions of these coins were minted and entered circulation, a very small number were struck with what collectors call a special mint strike. These have a satin-like finish and were only available in collector sets. But that's not all. Among the rarest are the 2009 pennies made from pure copper, just like the original 1909 issues. Most 2009 pennies were made from zinc with a copper coating, but a select few, particularly those in the collector's proof and uncirculated sets, were made from a solid copper alloy, 95% copper, and 5% tin and zinc. Now here's where it gets interesting. The rarest and most valuable 2009 Lincoln cents are those with perfect or near-perfect grades from professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, especially the formative years design. A flawless MS 67 or higher grade coin can be worth hundreds, even thousands, depending on its condition and demand. But what really drives collectors wild are the varieties and errors. Doubled dies, misaligned strikes, and off-center images can push the price up even more. Some rare examples of the 2009 Lincoln penny have sold for well over $3,000. Now let's shift to a true legend in the world of modern coin collecting, a U.S. quarter dollar with a value that stunned everyone: $72,000. This isn't just any quarter. It's a rare error coin, meaning something went wrong during the minting process, but the coin still made it out into circulation. These types of coins are incredibly rare, and collectors pay top dollar to get their hands on them. This specific quarter, which sold for $72,000, is known among experts for its dramatic minting mistake, possibly a double strike, off-metal error, or a wrong planchet used during production. For example, some quarters have been struck on nickel or cent blanks. Others show multiple images from being struck twice or more. These aren't just imperfections, they're major flaws that rarely escape the mint, and when they do, collectors go crazy. What makes an error coin like this worth so much? Rarity, condition, and how dramatic the error is. A quarter with a light doubling might be worth a few bucks, but one with a full second image or struck on the wrong metal, that's where the serious money comes in. And if that coin is in near-perfect condition and graded by a top service like PCGS or NGC, it becomes a true treasured SO. The next time you get change at the store, take a second look. That ordinary penny or quarter might not be so ordinary after all. Coins like the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial penny and ultra-rare error quarters have made everyday people into unexpected collectors, and sometimes even into small-time millionaires. Keep checking your pocket change, because real value sometimes hides in plain sight. Top 2. Imagine holding a coin that looks completely ordinary, just a penny or a quarter, but it's actually worth tens of thousands of dollars. Sounds impossible, right? But these coins exist, and today we're diving into two of the most fascinating, rarest, and most valuable coins in American history: the 1973 Lincoln 1-cent penny and a rare quarter dollar that once sold for a staggering $68,000. But let's start with the 1973 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it's just a common coin: 1 cent, Abraham Lincoln on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But certain 1973 pennies are anything but ordinary. while hundreds of millions were produced for everyday use. A small handful of them were struck under unusual and mysterious circumstances. Coins that collectors now consider true rarities. The key to their value lies in two things: composition and condition. Most 1973 pennies were made from a copper alloy, 95% copper, 5% zinc, the standard at the time. But some rumors and collector reports suggest that a few were accidentally struck on aluminum planchets, thin, lightweight metal blanks that were part of an experimental run in 1974, not 1973. These coins, if they exist, would be extremely rare errors, created in a brief window when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with alternatives to copper due to rising metal prices. Now add to that the factor of condition. Most coins go through decades of circulation, scratched, dinged, and worn down. But when a coin survives in pristine condition, especially in mint state 67 or higher, its value skyrockets. A 1973 Lincoln penny with perfect strike, deep color, full original luster, and no visible damage can be worth thousands on its own, even without any known errors. Combine that with rarity, and you have the recipe for a five-figure coin. Some high-grade examples of the 1973 Lincoln cent, especially proof-like coins or those with unique mint errors, have sold for upwards of $10,000 or more in private sales and auctions. But that's just the beginning. Now let's talk about a U.S. quarter, a seemingly normal 25-cent coin that blew collectors away when it sold for an astonishing $68,000. This isn't a coin you'd expect to find in your change, but it might have started there once. This quarter is a mint error coin, but not just any error. It's a coin with what's called a script error, a term used by some collectors to describe coins with misplaced, missing, or dramatically altered lettering or design elements, possibly a misaligned die, an incorrect planchet, or an overlapping image that disrupts the text. In the world of rare coins, such an error makes a coin unique, a true one-of-one, and that kind of rarity drives prices into the stratosphere. What made this particular quarter sell for $68,000 wasn't just the mistake. It was the clarity and severity of the error combined with the coin's near-perfect uncirculated condition. When a dramatic minting flaw is captured on a coin, and that coin is still in pristine shape, it becomes a collector's dream. There are collectors and investors out there willing to pay tens of thousands to own a piece of minting history. A coin that technically shouldn't even exist to the average person. A 1973 penny and a modern quarter might not seem worth a second look. But to those who understand the hidden value in rare errors, perfect strikes, and minting history, these coins are potential treasures. So next time you're checking your change, take a closer look. Is that penny just a penny? Or could it be a rare composition or proof coin worth thousands? Is that quarter just 25 cents? Or could it be a misprinted error that could buy you a car, or even pay off your debt? You never know until you look. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a hunt. A hunt for history, mystery, and sometimes a whole lot of money. Top 3. What if I told you a simple coin, something as small as a penny or a quarter, could be worth more than your car, your rent for the year, or even a college tuition? It sounds unbelievable, but some of the most valuable coins in U.S. history started as everyday change. Today, we're uncovering the mystery behind one of the rarest and most expensive Lincoln pennies ever produced, the 1975 1-cent coin, and a jaw-dropping, ultra-rare quarter dollar with a script-related error that sold for an astonishing $65,000. But let's begin with the 1975 Lincoln penny. At face value, it's just 1 cent. It carries the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that was common from 1959 to 2008. But some examples of the 1975 penny stand out from the millions. They're rare, valuable, and surrounded by intrigue among coin collectors. In 1975, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, mostly made from the standard 95% copper and 5% zinc alloy. However, like any massive operation, errors and anomalies can occur, and when they do, they create the kind of coins collectors dream of finding. Among the most valuable 1975 Lincoln pennies are those with extreme mint errors. Double die obverse, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and coins struck on the wrong planchet altogether. These are not ordinary errors. They're major mistakes that result in completely unique coins. Some 1975 Lincoln cents have been discovered with doubling in Lincoln's eye, the date, or the word liberty, clear indicators of a double die strike, which can significantly increase value. But here's where it gets even more interesting. In rare instances, a few 1975 pennies may have been accidentally struck on foreign planchets or test blanks intended for other denominations, giving them unusual weights, colors, and even textures. These anomalies often escape unnoticed at the time of production, only to be discovered decades later by sharp-eyed collectors or graders. A 1975 penny with a rare mint error, struck on an experimental or off-metal planchet, and preserved in uncirculated or near-perfect condition, has been known to fetch over $10,000 at auction, with rumors of even higher private sales. When a coin is both a mint mistake and a time capsule in perfect condition, its value skyrockets. Now let's move on to a true legend in modern coin collecting. A $quarter with a value that stunned everyone. $65,000. This isn't a fantasy. This is what happens when rarity, error, and condition come together in one unforgettable piece of American currency. This rare quarter is believed to be part of a small group of coins with what's called a script error, a term that refers to serious design or text-based anomalies during the minting process. This could mean lettering that's incomplete, doubled, shifted, or even completely missing due to a misaligned die or mechanical failure. These script-related errors are highly prized by numismatists because they affect one of the most visible and recognizable aspects of the coin, the text itself. In this particular case, the quarter had a misprinted phrase on the reverse, possibly a distorted United States of America or an error in the denomination, quarter dollar. What made it even more extraordinary was that the coin was in uncirculated condition, professionally graded at an ultra-high level, likely MS 68 or higher, and encapsulated by one of the top grading services in the country. Combine that dramatic error with flawless condition and an extremely low population, meaning only a few like it have ever been confirmed. And it's no surprise the coin sold for a jaw-dropping $65,000. In the world of numismatics, this is what we call a once-in-a-lifetime find. The average person sees a penny or a quarter as just spare change. But to a trained eye, these small pieces of metal tell stories. Stories of history, of mistakes, of rarity, and of immense value. The 1975 Lincoln penny and the ultra-rare script error quarter aren't just coins. They're artifacts. They're treasures hiding in plain sight. So next time you get change at the store, don't just toss those coins into a jar. Look at them. Study the dates. Examine the details. That plain-looking penny could be a rare error worth thousands. That quarter might just be one of the rarest ever minted. Because the truth is, the next legendary coin might already be in your pocket. Top 4. What if a single penny or quarter you've been overlooking for years could actually be worth tens of thousands of dollars? Believe it or not, these tiny coins we pass off as spare change can hold massive value, if you know what to look for. Today, we're digging deep into the hidden history of the 1978 Lincoln 1-cent penny and a rare $quarter coin, with a script-related minting error that stunned collectors when it sold for an incredible $63,000. Let's start with the 1978 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it looks like just another coin from your pocket or piggy bank. But there's more to this penny than meets the eye. The standard 1978 penny was made from the usual 95% copper and 5% zinc alloy, weighing 3.11 grams. That year, the U.S. Mint produced over 5.5 billion of them. So how could any of them be rare or valuable? The answer lies in error coins and exceptional condition. While most 1978 Lincoln cents are common and worth only face value, a small number of them escape the mint with dramatic errors. These include off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, and wrong planchet strikes. Some of the most valuable examples are coins that were mistakenly struck on foreign planchets or blanks meant for dimes or nickels, making them lighter and with different metal composition than a normal penny. If a 1978 penny was struck on a dime planchet, it would be smaller in diameter, missing parts of the design, and lighter in weight. All signs of a minting error that could turn it into a collector's treasure. But even without mint errors, a 1978 Lincoln cent in flawless uncirculated condition, graded MS 67 or higher, can command a premium. These high-grade coins are incredibly difficult to find because most pennies go into circulation immediately, getting scratched, worn, and damaged. A coin with full red color, strong luster, and no visible marks from handling can fetch several $1,000s, especially if graded and certified by a top agency like PCGS or NGC. One exceptional 1978 penny with a sharp strike, perfect surfaces, and full original luster sold for over $5,000, and collectors believe even higher prices are possible as demand for high-quality vintage coins continues to rise. Now, let's talk about the star of the show, a rare quarter dollar with a script error that sold for an astonishing $63,000. This is not just a collector's item. This is a piece of minting history. What exactly is a script error? In the world of numismatics, a script error refers to any significant flaw in the wording or lettering on a coin. That could mean doubled or missing letters, misspelled inscriptions, incomplete or distorted words, or even entire phrases struck in the wrong place or direction. These errors often occur due to mechanical failures in the die-making or striking process, and they're extremely rare, especially when the rest of the coin is struck cleanly and preserved in perfect condition. The $63,000 quarter in question reportedly featured a severe and obvious script error on the reverse side, possibly a distorted or missing part of United States of America or quarter dollar. It may have also included a misaligned die strike that caused the text to appear doubled, stretched, or partially off the edge of the coin. Combined with a pristine condition, likely MS 68 or higher, and certified authenticity from a trusted grading service, this error made the coin not only rare, but absolutely unique. Collectors understand that errors like this don't just happen, and when they do, they're nearly impossible to replicate. What made this quarter even more desirable was its clarity. A visible, unmistakable error that's easy to spot makes a huge difference in value. The bolder and cleaner the mistake, the more collectors are willing to pay. And in this case, a perfect storm of rarity, visual impact, and immaculate preservation led to the jaw-dropping price of $63,000 at auction. Coins like these are the holy grail of collecting. They remind us that incredible value can be hiding in plain sight, in your coin jar, your wallet, or that pile of change on your nightstand. The 1978 Lincoln penny and this extraordinary quarter are proof that every coin tells a story. Some tell stories of history, others of error, and a few tell stories of immense value. The best part? You don't have to be rich to start collecting. All it takes is curiosity, a sharp eye, and the knowledge that treasure could be sitting right in your pocket. So next time you're handed a penny or quarter, don't just ignore it. Take a closer look. That coin could be the next big discovery, and it might just change your life. Top 5. You've probably handled thousands of pennies and quarters in your life. Toss them in a drawer, drop them into a tip jar, or maybe save them in a jar at home. But what if one of those coins, something as simple as a 1-cent piece or a quarter, was actually worth thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars? Today, we're diving into the story of one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in U.S. history, the 1982 Lincoln penny, a coin surrounded by mystery and worth far more than its face value. And right after that, we're breaking down a jaw-dropping quarter dollar with a rare script error, a minting mistake so unique it pushed the coin's value to an unbelievable $57,000. Let's start with the 1982 Lincoln penny. This coin is a collector's nightmare and dream all rolled into one. Why? Because in 1982, the U.S. Mint made a major change to the penny's composition, and it wasn't simple. Up to that year, pennies had been made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing 3.11 grams. But due to rising metal costs, the mint decided to switch to a cheaper material, zinc with a thin copper coating, weighing just 2.5 grams. But they didn't make the switch overnight. In fact, during 1982, both copper and zinc pennies were being produced, and to make things even more complicated, the U.S. Mint used 7 different varieties of dies that year, large date and small date designs for both copper and zinc versions, plus a few rare variations. This resulted in one of the most confusing and collectible sets of pennies in U.S. coin history. Among them, one variety stands out, the 1982 D small date copper penny. This coin is one of the most talked about modern rarities ever discovered. Why? because the Denver Mint was only supposed to produce zinc small date coins. Somehow, a small number of copper planchets were used by mistake, making the 1982 D small date copper penny a major minting error. In the world of coin collecting, rarity is everything. And when you combine an unexpected metal composition, a scarce die variety, and the fact that only a few examples are known to exist, you get something special. One verified 1982 D small date copper penny has sold for over $18,000, and others could fetch even more if found in mint state condition with a high grade from PCGS or NGC. Even other 1982 penny varieties, large date copper, small date zinc, or off-metal strikes, can be worth hundreds or thousands depending on their condition and certification. It's a reminder that even a single penny from your pocket could be a hidden gem if you know what to look for. Now let's switch gears and talk about a US quarter dollar, a 25-cent piece that caused a sensation when it sold for $57,000. This wasn't a silver quarter from the 1800s or a colonial-era coin. It was a modern quarter with a script error so rare and dramatic that collectors knew instantly they were looking at something extraordinary. What exactly is a script error? In simple terms, it's a flaw in the lettering or text on the coin. That could be missing letters, doubled inscriptions, misaligned phrases, or even parts of words being completely off the planchet. These aren't ordinary minting mistakes. They're bold, visual, and instantly identifiable. For collectors, that makes them gold, or in this case, worth tens of thousands of dollars. The $57,000 quarter was struck with a noticeable and severe script error. Reports say the text on the reverse of the coin, possibly the words United States of America or quarter dollar, was significantly deformed, partially missing, or repeated due to a double die or misaligned die strike. What made it even more impressive was that the coin was found in uncirculated, mint state condition, possibly graded at MS 68 or higher. Only a few examples like this exist, and when they surface, bidding wars break out in private auctions. One-of-a-kind errors are nearly impossible to reproduce. And for collectors chasing a full set of minting oddities, coins like this are priceless. But in this case, the price was clear: $57,000, paid by a buyer who understood just how rare this type of mistake really is. Coins like these remind us that real treasure isn't always hidden deep underground. Sometimes it's just lying unnoticed in your change. The 1982 penny teaches us how important tiny details can be. The weight, the date style, the mint mark. One subtle difference can turn a 1-cent coin into a 5-figure prize. The $57,000 quarter shows us that mistakes, even ones that happen by accident at the US Mint, can become legendary. The next time you're handed change, don't just shove it in your pocket. Look closely. Flip that penny over. Examine that quarter. Is the lettering off? Does the coin feel too light? Is the date style different? You could be holding a coin that collectors have been searching for their entire lives. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button if you learned something new, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and the stories behind the money we use every day. Keep checking your change, because fortune favors the observant.